Speech 1A class. I felt excited actually. I normally feel excited about classes, new classes in general, but this one in particular, I had some sort of expectations as well because it's a core class that everyone takes and I was being part of it and I wanted to test myself in the language matter. So I was going to be able to stand in front of people from what I heard and deliver speech. So I was very, very excited, more than normal. The thing about accent, in general, I always felt that in language, there's just this thing about the norm and the different accent from the norm. So I didn't feel that much different in terms of I wasn't speaking right. I knew there was a different sound coming out of my mouth, but I knew that it was understood, every word I said. So I didn't feel that bad. I was just going forward. I just wanted to demonstrate myself that even though the sounds were coming different out of my mouth, I was going to be understood and I was going to be able to deliver the message that I wanted to deliver. And that was a key always in my personality, that I wanted to make things clear. When I have a discussion with people, I just want to make things clear. So accent was not part of the formula. It was not part of the addition. It was out, actually. In grammar, I'm a grammar geek, even in my own language. Some people tell me that I'm obnoxious. I'm very, very picky. So if I was going to use another language, I was making sure that I was doing it the right way all the time. So I would put some extra time to rephrase the sentences or reread the grammar rules and make sure that I was on the right path. So grammar was not an issue in terms of I was afraid of making a mistake. As a matter of fact, I wanted to make mistakes so people would correct me, and I have some sort of good memory. So from my mistakes, I learn. So the philosophy I have is the more mistakes I made while I spoke, I will be able to remember more for the future. If I was nervous before the class, I would say that from a scale from 1 to 10, if 1 is less, I think I could say I was about 2, no more than 2, because I like the challenges. I've always developed that sense of, as I said before, I wanted to communicate my ideas all the time, and I wanted to be sure that I was dominating the aspect of being in front of people. So nervous about the class itself? No, it was more mixture of excitement and anxiety more than nervousness. Techniques to improve my accent. That I cannot answer specifically. I would say the only technique I used was practice. A lot of practice. Because I still feel that I have a different sound from the norm, because I always want to make sure that having an accent doesn't mean that, you have an accent. It means you have a different accent from the norm. So it's going to come out different, but the practice I had was just based on the muscle memory. I tried to make more muscle memory all the time. And I recorded myself and I heard myself to see how close that came to the accent that I heard on the outside. So it was just a lot of practice, a lot of self-criticism, and a lot of objective observation of what was coming out of my mouth. Because maybe the sounds were a little close to what I was hearing, but still the different languages, not just English and my native language, they have different pitch. So I was noticing that whenever I said a word that where the sound was really close to the accent, it still had a different pitch because I was used to the pitch of my own language. So I started to work more on that. And even now that I feel that it's a little different still, right, I have to keep trying and trying. Not because there is a rule that I have to follow, it's just a personality that I want to get to the point where everything is close to perfect. Not perfect, but close to perfect. Sure. I recorded myself using just a recording machine, and I used also videos when it was time to deliver the speech. Because the practice with the accent was first words, actually first letters, words, then phrases, then sentences, just to get the hang of the phrasing and how the intonation goes in every sentence, and comparing to how people said it. Because I had to learn that how the words come down when you speak in English, compared to what I used to do in my own language. But I recorded with just a recording device, recording machine or a video, and I said words in different ways, 3 or 4 different ways, to compare which one was the closest to what I hear. Because people, I mean, you will know that we don't recognize our own voices when we hear ourselves. So the way I did it is just I recorded myself in different ways, and once I heard the one that was close to what I hear outside in different people, then I tried to remember how I moved my tongue, my mouth, and what came from my mind to say it in order to repeat it the same way. But everything started with the practice. The biggest challenge in that class was to learn how to control your body reactions. Because I was not afraid, or I did not have that fear of speaking in public. I was excited, actually. I was eager to do it. But I did not realize that when you think, what was happening specifically about my body reactions was that I sweated too much to be precise, too much for my likes. And I didn't know why it was happening. But then I found out after going through the class and after learning the theory behind how to deliver speech and all the techniques that you are taught, I discovered that it was more about my body warming up because of the energy I used when I thought. I tried to remember what to say. So I learned how to control it by preparing myself better. So the less I thought about it, the least I sweated. And I just learned and learned and learned how to control it. That was the biggest challenge for me. Well, the class Speech 1A gave me the tools to be able to deal with different kinds of speech later. I was able to have the theory in my hands to apply it later. That was the biggest benefit. It was a catapult for me to confirm something that I want to test this, I want to do it, I want to do it this way. With that class, I had the theory. It's like having a manual, having a book in your hand, and then you go and test that book, that theory, everywhere you go. It's just the biggest benefit. I know from that class that I can apply it not just to speech, I can apply that theory, same theory, to even writing. So that phrase, for instance, you have to write as you speak, it does apply to me. When I write, I try to write as close as I do it when I speak, because that class gave me the tools to be with the conviction, to be confident that you speak well. If you speak well, then you'll be able to write well if you do that phrase of writing as you speak. So the tools to be confident. Well, first, the Speech 1A class opened doors for me in the lower level. It gave me the jump to go into Speech 1A, to speech and debate team. I first participated in the intramural contest in the Speech 1A class. That gave me the jump into speech and debate team. With the team, I competed nationally, and what do you know? I was able to pull out a championship, and I was so happy then. But after that, what made me realize, once you get to that point, I remember I had this question from one of my teachers in the team. So, hey, you won, congratulations. Oh, yes, thank you, this is awesome. So what's next? Well, how do you feel, he asked me. Yeah, you're right. What's next? Yeah, you feel like you've done it right now. You have something else now. You're right. So that actually gave me, it's like achieving certain goals. You reach roof to one point and the other. So at that point, based on the question, right, what doors that championship opened for me, I just say that it gave me the more eagerness to achieve something similar but in real life. Sure. I would like to say something for those non-native speakers that want to avoid Speech 1A class maybe. Actually, they cannot avoid it if they want to study something, right? It's a core class, it's something that they have to take. But the difference with me was that that was something that I didn't have to take, that was something I wanted to take. So my advice is actually that you have to go through, you are here, you are going to take that class. If you're going to take studies further and you're going to go through it, you got to have fun learning it. So how are you going to have fun learning it? Two ways. One, you are going to learn tools to use for the future in society. You are going to do it anyways. Everything you go, everywhere you go, everything you do, you're going to have to communicate, you're going to have to speak, you're going to have to transfer your ideas. You have to be able to tell your message clearly. So non-native speakers, you have to learn those tools. The second way you can have fun is just by pretending it's a game where you actually learn to perform. And if it's not your native language, forget about the sounds, forget about the language nature, just have fun mimicking, have fun trying to pretend that you're somebody else. And in the process, you're going to learn that actually you are good at it. In the process, you're going to learn that you can do it. And eventually, who knows, you might want to jump into doing something or in a higher level.